Okay, don't they say that the first step is admitting that you have a problem? Hi, I'm Kelly, and I am addicted to fragrances. Body sprays, perfumes, good smelling body washes, whatever it is. If I can sniff it and I like it, I buy it. It's ridiculous. Oh, that sounds like something else. Sniff it, not snort it. Anyway, we're gonna move on from that. That was a weird intro, but if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly, and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist, and here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Today's video is going to be a little roundup, a little, I guess I would say, mini review of all of the fragrances that I've purchased in the last couple months. It's a ridiculous amount. I am also going to be calling myself out on a couple of the things that I haven't used yet. Shame on me, shame on me. We're gonna get into that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and dive in. Should I do this in the order of appearance? I guess I could try to do that. I'm not sure if I can actually do that. So this would probably be the first one because this I got just shortly after Black Friday. I did decide to go ahead and treat myself to a Scentbird subscription. If you are not familiar with Scentbird, you probably haven't watched any beauty YouTube videos because I feel like most people at some point in time have talked about this. So this is my first time trying this fragrance subscription. You basically, when you start out, you get this little component, and inside this holds a fragrance file, a little sample, and it's actually a very good size sample. So I do believe that the subscription is $16.95 a month, and you get a free case with your first order. You can buy extra cases. So this was the first scent that I got. Now I really do enjoy that you are able to go in and set up a queue of the fragrances that you want, and they will come to you in order, and you can shuffle them around. It really is pretty easy to use. They have a ton of different fragrances. I will say you do want to be careful. You do want to be careful when you are going in and getting your fragrances, because while they do have upgrade purchases where it's like, maybe it's like a slightly higher price fragrance, they will add like a $10 charge to your subscription for that month. They also have some fragrances that are pretty darned inexpensive that you will end up paying $16.95 for when it doesn't cost that much more to buy a full size. Like I just saw that right now they have pink sugar listed, and it's like, wow, pink sugar is like everywhere and you can get it pretty cheap. So don't get a sample of pink sugar in your Scentbird subscription, is what I'm trying to say to you here. Anyway, the first one that I picked out was actually from a brand that I'd seen on Instagram, and I just thought the bottle looked really cool. So this is from the brand Scents of Wood, and this is Sandalwood and Oak. So I love a good sandalwood fragrance. I love a good like woodsy fragrance, and this one I do really enjoy. There is something to this. So the other day I wore Ellis Brooklyn Apres, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that like, did I just like dupe myself? Because like, is this a lot like Apres? And it's actually not. It has the woody note. That's about as far as it goes, because this one, let me actually look up the notes here, but this one to me has like a little bit more rich, kind of like spicy vibe. Okay, so the notes of this fragrance, according to Fragrantica, are sandalwood, pink pepper, sugar, sage, guaiac wood, orris root, olibanum, vanilla, and musk. And that's exactly where I'm getting a little bit of that richer scent from. So I will say I enjoy a fragrance that has pink pepper in it, but I do not like a fragrance that has black pepper in it. And I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. There's just something to black pepper that it just doesn't sit well on my skin, but pink pepper, I do find that if it's in a fragrance, I do enjoy it. So this is a very predominantly sandalwood forward fragrance, and that sugar is where a bit more of that sweetness comes out, but this is not, it's not like that overly cloying sweet. Like it just balances it out enough. You obviously have a little bit of herbal note from like the sage, which isn't in here too much. I don't find that it's like super herbally, but I do love that the vanilla and the musk are in here. I think that that's what gives it, it's got like a slight cozy vibe. Like I get the woodiness, but it also has like a cozy sweater feel to it. I really do like this one. So all of the fragrances from the brand Scents of Wood, they are like something in something. So like sandalwood and oak, for instance, there's also like praline and maple. So it's all like notes that are, and I actually don't know if they really do this, but it's almost like if you were to put things in like a wooden cask and like, you know, let it mature that way. That's sort of the vibe that you get from these. I really like the scent. I think it's a very good unisex scent. It does lean a little bit, you know, it does, if you are someone that likes a woody note but you don't like a vanilla, I don't know that you'd like this. It isn't like vanilla forward at all, but it does have that creamy richness to it, which I think balances it out really nicely. I will say, just as far as like Scentbird goes, that I found that they have changed their packaging. So this is magnetic, but it's not as nice as the old one where you used to just like plop it in and like click it into place. I find that this is just, I've had it like come apart a couple times. It's not a huge deal. You don't even need the case. I actually have another scent here that I gave to Jeremy, and I didn't buy him a case because he doesn't need it. He probably would just be like, why the heck is this on here? So it is functional without the case, but it is nice because you can use this case to lock it into place in case you're going to be traveling. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance that I gave to Jeremy. Now this is one that we had gotten a sample of at some point in time, like a small sample, you know, a card sample. By the way, this is 8 milliliters or 0.27 fluid ounces. So it is actually a very nice size sample. I'm trying to see if I can find another sample. Okay, so for instance, this little sample I have from Kilian, this is a 0.05 fluid ounce sample, and this one, what did I say, 0.27? Yeah, 0.27. So this is like over 5 times as much. So just so that you kind of know, like, it's definitely enough. Like, I don't even think that I would go through this in a month. Maybe if it's the sole fragrance that I wore, but I'm not that person. So there's a lot of fragrance in here. But anyway, so I think that, you know, 16 whatever is a pretty good deal for this. But this is the Tiziana Terenzi Orion fragrance. And again, I got this in a sample at some point and I liked it, but it was one of those ones that it's like, I'm pretty sure that I would like this on Jeremy more. And it does say it's a unisex fragrance, which every fragrance is a unisex fragrance because you can wear whatever the hell you want at any time. But I did want to go over the notes of this one. Now it's really interesting because I have not looked up the notes on this one yet. And I'm like, oh my God, because it definitely rings true. So the top notes of this are pineapple, apple, bergamot, and red currant. And you know what? I never would have thought that, but I get the pineapple. Like, it doesn't read as pineapple right away. It reads as like bright, you know what I mean? Like bright and almost citrusy, but not quite. Like it was like, okay, this isn't citrus, but it's definitely kind of fruity, but not sweet. And that's that dang pineapple. So then we have birch, thyme, patchouli, and jasmine in the middle. I definitely get that like herbal hit to it. It sort of like rounds it out really nicely. And then the base notes are cedar, incense, oud, musk, and amber. So you definitely get that top of like very bright, that pineapple is there, and then it's a little bit herbal, but it dries down to have that coziness that wood has, that like warmth. So it's bright, herbal, and warm at the same time, like over the length of it. It's really nice. It's sort of a twist on like a spicy, but not like an herbal. It's like a twist on an herbal. When I think spicy, I think like black pepper or things like that, and that's not what I get from this, but it is very herbal, but that like front of that like brightness is really nice. It's too much for me, but it smells great on Jeremy, so I thought, you know, this will last him a long time. This poor man. Let's see. I think he had like 2 fragrances when we started dating, and it was like a half use thing of CK1 from probably when CK1 was like first a thing, and an Adidas fragrance, I swear. And now he has quite a few. He has at least 2 or 3 full-size bottles, and then like a bunch of sample size and like travel size, because I love him smelling good. And of course I get a lot of different samples of things and I just can't stop. So I'm always like, here babe, try this, try this, try this. So here we went with a try this, and he actually really likes it. So I did want to share that one as well. If you are someone that kind of sounds like that would be your jam, I definitely recommend checking it out. So that is my Scentbird. I did just go ahead and put that on pause for a little bit. I will say I did find it to be fairly easy to do. I think that some subscription brands, it's like you have to give them your fingerprint, like your firstborn child. And if you don't have children like me, you're totally screwed, to be able to like pause or like even cancel sometimes. So I found that it was actually relatively easy to do. And I do see that now they even do candles. So you could do like a candle subscription every month too, which would be kind of fun. I don't need candles either. So I did just want to say that. Okay, so now let's go into some of these others. So let's talk a little bit about Ellis Brooklyn Myth. So this I shared in one of my haul videos that I did. I did end up getting this with points, and I do love the Ellis Brooklyn Fragrance House. So I did have a little sample of this, and I was like, well, It was on sale, and I think I had a coupon, and I was like, well, I can totally do this. Now, this scent is sort of one of those like barely there scents, like clean, but not in that like cleaning product or like overly citrusy way. So this has the top notes of ambrette, which is also known as muskmellow, bergamot, and cassis. So you get that like kind of bright, almost like citrus leaning vibe from the bergamot. It's very clean, like almost like I said, it's almost like soapy, like out of the shower. Now the middle notes are pink, lotus, jasmine, and orchid. I will say, like, this smells very, I'm gonna keep saying it, fresh. So it's not like overly bouquet-y, but it does have that, like, you know, when you're outside on a nice spring day and you're walking by a garden and you get that like very hint of flowers, but it's not like chewing on rose petals. It's like that. That's the vibe you get. And then the base notes are musk, white cedar extract, and patchouli. So this is not patchouli heavy by any means. This just has a very clean, like, yeah, again, it's just like sort of like out of the shower, you used a nice soap and you just smell fresh. That's exactly what I feel like this smells like. So it is a nice one. It's very light. It's really great for those days that you just want a little something on, but you don't want to smell like, hey, I'm wearing fragrance. It's a nice little like no fragrance. So I do really like this one. I do think because it doesn't have a lot of sillage, that it's something that is for that person that really doesn't want to seem like they're wearing a fragrance. I will say that out of all of these that I'm going to show you, that's the one that I probably could have skipped on, but I am glad to have it. I got it, you know, for a good deal, and of course I use points for it. It's just that it's like, I like, most days, I like to have a fragrance that I can continue to smell, and this is one that for me, my nose just kind of goes blind to it, but it could just be me. But then again, it's also one of those that it's like, it just makes me feel kind of like I had like a luxury shower. At any rate, that's my thoughts on that. Okay, really quickly, I know that I did haul this, but I do want to run back through by Rosie Jane Dillon. I did pick this up right around Black Friday, and I did share that I think it was the fragrance. It was the full-size fragrance that I got, and then I did end up going back and getting the perfume oil, partially because, was it Sephora that was having a sale? I think it was. And then it was also, I was saying that this one doesn't have as much longevity as Dolce does, so I wanted something that would hopefully give me a bit more longevity. So Dillon is listed on the By Rosie Jane site as having cedar, frankincense, and white musk as the notes. And then on Fragrantica, it's listed as white musk, cedar, and olibanum. Is olibanum frankincense? I'm gonna have to look into that, but that's what's listed. So I will say, anytime you get a fragrance oil, I think it has a bit more richness than a perfume does. Like an eau de parfum, you know, it has a bit of alcohol in it, right? So it doesn't, it's a different dispersion system as well, right? It's like a little bit more airy. So this has a bit more richness to it. There is something to this, and it's so funny because you'll notice like so many of these have some sort of wood in them. That's evidently just my vibe. It's my vibe. I don't know. I like it in the winter for the coziness, but I also like it in the spring and summer because it has a bit of warmth to it that reminds me of like sunshine. There's just something to it. It's just my vibe right now, and I really do like this. Yeah, this is another one of those like cozy, clean scents, but Myth is a little bit, it leans a little bit more soapy, whereas Dillon leans a little bit more, there is something, I don't know how to put my descriptive words onto it. It's that frankincense. It just has that little bit more warmth to it. So this is what I would say is a cool scent, and this is ever so slightly more warm, but still neutral, you know, like, I don't know how to explain it. So, okay, there's a scent that's coming up in here that's like, if I had to think of it in like temperature degrees, it's like an 80 degrees, whereas like this is more like 65 degrees, and this one is more like 50 degrees. I hope that that helps in some way. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it helps me. Like if I just think about temperature wise. Wow. Okay, so I do really like it. It's very fresh. I just saw, by the way, this is a total side note, but you all know how much I love the by Rosie Jane Dolce fragrance. That's the cocoa and vanilla one. And I saw that they brought out a body wash and I was so tempted to order it, but I don't really need a body wash right now, but I was so tempted. I am really liking the by Rosie Jane body wash formula. It's nice. I don't think I'd get it at full price, which is why I didn't do it, but I'm gonna keep an eye out. I'm gonna keep an eye out for a good brand sale because I might pick that one up. It does smell so nice. I'm not talking about that fragrance in here because y'all know I love that fragrance, but it was one that I got recently. Okay, so why don't let's see, what order did this go in? Nope, this is the next one that I got. So randomly, I picked up this Victoria's Secret Tease Cream Cloud Fragrance Mist. So this is like, whoa, this is like so opposite from everything else in here. So the reason I got this was because I was at that like weird threshold. I don't know if it was like to be able to get free shipping or if it was like my coupon. It was like, well, you might as well get something because you've got this coupon. Whatever it was, this basically I got for free. So there were quite a few fragrances and this was a blind buy for me. So I was like trying to go in and figure out what I wanted. Now I will say, I do like the Tease fragrance from Victoria's Secret. Although I will say, since I've gotten like so deep into fragrance landia now, most of the Victoria's Secret fragrance totally smells like perfume. You know, like it just has that more like artificial ingredient scent to it where it doesn't smell quite as like natural. And I don't mean that in the like, you have to use a natural product. I just mean like, sort of like imitation vanilla extract versus real vanilla extract. You know what I'm saying? So this, let's look up the notes on this. The notes of this. So you get meringue and vanilla in the top, sandalwood flower, so not sandalwood, but sandalwood flower in the middle, and then musk and amber in the bottom. So I think that there's something, I definitely get that meringue. It's what comes across in the top, the meringue and the vanilla. There is something powdery about this though. That is the one thing that I'm kind of like, if it wasn't quite so powdery. Now this I honestly got to just like spray on for my like cozy fragrance before I go to bed. And I think it's perfect for that because even the powderiness just lends itself to like babies out of the bathtub. You know what I mean? That like, oh, you just got done with a warm bath. And I mean, granted, I'm not a baby, but you know what I'm saying? Like you just think about like babies, like after they get baths, they just want to like go to sleep, right? So this is exactly what I get from this. It is that just like lightly musky, warm scent. Like this is definitely on the like temperature scale. I would say that this is more like a 70. Yeah, this one is like, it's just not quite as warm as the warmest one. I think I'm gonna save that one off for the end, but it's a lot warmer than these other ones in here. I do like this. I wish it was a little less powdery, but since I basically got it for free, I was like, okay. Will I be buying this again? No, probably for two reasons. Number one, I think that this is probably a limited edition fragrance. And number two, it's just not something I'm like, wow, I love that. It's like irreplaceable. So right now in my collection, I need to not be buying anything that isn't like, wow, irreplaceable. Okay, so let's go into the next couple that I got. I'm trying to see what order this kind of went in. So, Juliet Has a Gun, Sunny Side Up. So I have the travel size of this. I actually used it up and I love it. And when Sephora was doing their like 20% off fragrance thing after the holidays, I was like, I'm just gonna do, I think it was because I saw that like my sample was done or something. Oh, I know what it was. At Black Friday, so Juliet Has a Gun was offering like 20 or 25% cash back. And I was like, well, how does that work? Cash back, you're gonna like send me the money? I don't understand. And so I reached out to the company via Instagram because I could not see the details anywhere. It was basically like you get credit for your next purchase. And I was like, no, that is not cash back. Cash is something I can use on anything. So I was a little bit miffed because I was like, that is misrepresentation right there. You are lying to me. So I didn't get it. But then when I saw that Sephora was offering the 20% off, I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this. But I ended up getting it for more of a discount on FragranceNet. Now this one, I've talked about it before. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so this is one of those woodsy fragrances. Again, are you surprised? It's kind of hilarious because as I go through these notes, they all have like, there are many like continued notes that you'll find in this. So I obviously have a vibe, but it's just enough of a different combination that they are like different fragrances because there's nothing in here that I feel like is like duping the other. So Sunny Side Up, it's more creamy. It definitely has, I think I've said it before, it's like sunny day, warming your skin, but you're like sitting on some like driftwood on the beach while you're in the sun. I don't know how to explain it, but this has vanilla absolute, amorous, and jasmine as the top notes, coconut milk, sandalwood, orris root, and jasmine again as the middle notes. So that coconut milk is where you get that like extra creamy vibe, and it gives you that like slight suntan lotion thing, but like not heavy or cloying at all. And then the base notes are isoe super and muskmellow again. So the isoe super gives it that like lighter feel. You know, if you have ever had the not a perfume, that's like an isoe super scent. So it just has that like light airiness to it. So I think that that is what makes it not overly cloying with the vanilla, the coconut milk, the sandalwood. So this is like everything you think about in like a beach cocktail while sitting on some warm wood, but also there's a breeze. You know, like it's very airy. I love this scent. I'm actually kind of bummed because I wish that I had gotten this in a travel size as well, because I would have taken this on vacation with me. But I'm not taking this Big Daddy. I'm not taking this Big Daddy. And so I probably will at some point get a travel size again. But the bottle's really cute. You know, it definitely has that like sunny vibe. Love the yellow top. And I'm glad that I got it. So it's one, I feel like once I've used up a travel size, and if it's something that I still love, it's worth getting a full size in my collection. So I do enjoy having this, and I did get it for a great deal on FragranceNet. So that is one that I just wanted to update you on. Now, another one that I talked about recently, I'm not gonna go into this one too much because I did just recently talk about it in my massive, massive Ulta Points haul. Like $250 worth of Ulta Points haul. So this is Clinique Calyx. This used to be a prescriptives fragrance back in the day, and Clinique has taken it over. So this has so many notes. It has so many notes. Green leaves, guava, passion fruit, papaya, grapefruit, mango, mandarin orange, lily of the valley, lily, marigold, freesia, neroli, jasmine, rose, oak moss, vetiver, sandalwood, and orris root. Now, I will say, and I think I said that in my haul video, because I've never read the notes on this before, I definitely get the like guava passion fruit. It has this like tropical vibe thing to it. It's just, it is a very fresh, fruity scent, but it's not overly sweet. And I think that that is because of, you know, some of that like oak moss, the sandalwood, and it's lightly, again, it's lightly floral, like that like walking by a garden thing, but it's not like overly heavily floral. Honestly, this might be the one, I might take this on vacation with me. I think that I'm just gonna take samples. That's like my goal right now, but this could be a good one, because it could be a good one to like wear in the sun. You know, it's not overly cloying. I don't know, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm sure I'll be sharing that with you when I get back from vacation. I'll probably do like an unpacking my beauty bag situation, and so we can see together like what I brought, what I used. Was I glad that I had it? Did I wish that I'd brought something else? So we'll have to see when that one hits. But that one is really nice. Oh, I didn't even go. If we're gonna do this whole like temperature thing, let's go through that. So, okay, so I can't remember, but I said that, was it like Dylan that I said was 65 degrees? This one's gonna be 70 degrees. You know what? These two are actually temperature-wise. These two are really similar. They're like still fresh, like breezy, but this one is a little bit more creamy. So I'm gonna actually say like, this gives me sunny vibes, but not overly like hot, not overly hot vibes. So I'm gonna go with that. It's in that like 65 to 70 range. If this is helping anybody, let me know, because I might continue to like describe fragrances that way. It does make sense to me, but I need to know if it makes sense to you. Wow, okay. The last like more full-size fragrance that I'm gonna talk to you about, this is the one that I did get from Sephora during the sample sale, or during the scent sale. Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. I did it, y'all. I pulled the trigger. I went and bought this expensive little baby. What is this even? Okay, so this is the 1 ounce, and the 1 ounce is regularly $175. This is officially my most expensive fragrance. It's $175 right in here. Now, I'll be honest, if I didn't have so many fragrances in my collection, I probably would have bumped up to the 1.7 ounce size, because that's $285. And I was like, that's a lot more for like a good deal. But the thing is I just want to know that I can get through this. And I also just wanted to make sure that it was worth it. I will already tell you, Like, hands down, no regrets. No regrets on this one at all. I freaking love it. The funny thing is my friend Jennifer from All Feisty, she sent me a sample of this at one point and I tried it out and I was like, this is really nice, but I don't think that it's that special compared to, say, Jazz Club from Replica or my Tainted Love from Tokyo Milk Dark. And then probably 3 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I tried the sample again and I was like, who am I kidding? This is delicious and amazing and unique and I love it and I want to bathe myself in it. I'm not going to bathe myself in it for the price. That would be a very expensive bath, but I do like it. And I'm also being that ridiculous person who right now is keeping the box, but there's just something about this, like being perched in its little box, that is making my heart feel better about spending all that money. I did get it for 20% off, you know, so there is that, but like, that's expensive. Okay, let's take a look at the notes on this one. Let me pull that up. All right, so you have a lot of tobacco in here. You have the top notes of tobacco leaf and spicy notes. That's vague. And then the middle notes of vanilla, cacao, tonka bean, and tobacco blossom. And then the base notes are dried fruits and woody notes. So this is, it reminds me, I'm gonna pull it back out of its little coffin here. It reminds me, you definitely get that like pouch of tobacco. So one of my dads, he would smoke a tobacco pipe on occasion and like the tobacco in the pouch just smells so good. I hate it when it's like actually burning, but like the actual tobacco smells so good. So I definitely get that vibe. And I also get a little bit of like root beer. Does anyone else get that from this? Like, but not an overly sweet root beer. It smells so good. It smells so good. Like, this I love. This is definitely for me, like special, like date night, like when I want to feel uber sexy. This is what I will be wearing. My friend Kara from Beauty and the Frizz, she says that the Dossier knockoff is like almost the same thing. I did at one point reach out to Dossier to see if they wanted to work together and they said no. So I'm like, oh, okay, you seem to be working with a lot of other people, but I guess I'm just not cool enough. So I might at some point just get some Dossier fragrances to see what I think, because I'm very curious. Because honestly, if you could get a fragrance that's even like 75% as close, like you could save a lot of money. But no regrets on purchasing that, but I am really curious about like the, you know, dupe, if you will. Okay, so that is all of the fragrances that I have purchased and tried in the last few months. Can we talk a little bit about what I purchased and haven't tried? This one is like slightly less shameful, so I'm not too sad about this. So I did get, during the Sephora sale, I got the Kayali Discovery Layering Set. So the funny thing, and I don't know why I thought this because it was relatively inexpensive. It was like $25 or $35 or something for all of these. Okay, so this has Love Fest Burning Cherry, Eden Juicy Apple, Invite Only Amber, Utopia Vanilla Cocoa, Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper, Deja Vu White Flower, Musk, and Vanilla in here. So I have smelled a couple of these, like in the Sephora store, but I have not actually ever tried them. And I thought that this would be a really fun little thing to do. I think that this is a really great way also to like experiment with layering fragrances. So I'm excited to give this a try. I don't know why, I just haven't like cracked into it yet. So at some point I will. And if you don't know, I started a new series on Instagram with my friend Stephen Ford. We both have a lot of fragrance samples. And so we're doing Sample Sunday or Scent Sample Sunday or Scent Sunday, whatever we're calling it. I think it's Scent Sunday. So we're going to be sharing a fragrance sample every week on our Instagram stories. So you will probably want to follow them as well. I will make sure to have their Instagram down below. Stephen has also been on YouTube, but I think they're kind of taking a break right now. But you can follow them on Instagram if you'd like to get their thoughts as well on their samples. So maybe at some point I'll start cracking into this one and we'll get into that. Oh, and while we're on the topic of Kayali, this is kind of like a side note, but I did mean to include this one here because I haven't talked about it yet because I haven't done a favorites video in the last couple months, which means I haven't really talked about fails. But let me tell you, the new like sugared vanilla royale patchouli whatever thing from Kayali. I bought the travel size like the minute it came out because I was like, I might really like this. Like it was intriguing. I was like, this might be really good and unique and kind of like a different fragrance. Oh, it was different. It was different, y'all. Let me tell you. If you enjoy burning rubber, then you might like that scent, because that is what I got from that. I will say, after several hours, it was more palatable. But like, I definitely got burning rubber vibes for several hours. And so it was a big no. It was a very hard no. I wore it one night and I was like, and I took it back as soon as possible. Like, and the thing is like, my Sephora, maybe your Sephora is different, but my Sephora right now has like almost no fragrance testers out. Like almost no fragrance in general. It's kind of crazy. So it's like, I would even understand if it's because of theft, like if they have to put it behind plastic and you have to get an associate's help. But there's almost nothing. So it's like, well, okay, I guess I'm just blind buying these things. And if I don't like it, I'm going to take it back. Because if there's no way for me to smell it, I just don't know what to say. So I hated it. I hated it. It was, I don't mind patchouli blended into something, but it was really strong. I have a couple fragrances that have almost like a black licorice type front, and this almost had a little bit of that, but like it dies down a little bit and it just adds to like the richness of it after a while. Like once the dry down has started, it's lovely. This never got to lovely, ever. It didn't even get to like, I can handle this. So I took that one back. So hopefully I like more of the ones that are in here. Then I liked that one because it was bad. It was super bad. Okay, so I want to talk to you about this, and I have talked about it before on my Instagram stories. So I said that around the holidays, I got a Scentbird subscription. I also got an olfactive subscription. And when I started it, I was getting both the women's and the men's because I was like, well, I might as well have Jeremy join in on the fun. And my plan is to do a scent video reviewing them together. And life, it's crazy. So this is the December collection. I also have the January collection. So it's 3 of each. It's 3 male and 3 female. So that's the other reason, is like, not just because Jeremy, I wanted him to join in on this and he loves fragrance and I thought like both of our opinions would be kind of nice to have, but I enjoy a lot of fragrances that say that they're more like male. In fact, like one of my favorite all-time fragrances is Million from Paco Rabanne, and that is a cologne. I don't like the Lady Million, I like Million. So I'm just like, again, you can wear whatever the hell you want, like whoever, whenever, whatever. But I wanted to get all of the options. So there are 3 and 3 in this collection. Do you think I have gotten my nose on any of these? No, not at all. I'm ridiculous. This is not exactly the most inexpensive subscription because it's more like niche, sort of like select scent houses. So it's fairly pricey. My brain is blocking out how much it is right now, but I'll put it up here. I have since, I changed it to just women's, but then I did see that I could like pause my subscription for a month. And with us going on vacation and everything, I'm like, I just need to stop right now. So I have 2 of these that I need to get through. I'm still thinking that I'm gonna have Jeremy sit down and do at least one of them with me, just for funsies. I think it could be kind of fun. Let me know if you're still interested in that. It's crazy. So we'll see what I do when I come back. But it was nice that, again, I was just able to like pause it for a month. But I really like the experience of this. They give you the scents and then they give you a little card that has the notes and everything on the scent. So I remember this one I was really excited about. So this scent is Amber Imperia and the house is Memento Perfumery. So this is a Canadian house. So the key notes of this one are apple, honey, cinnamon, and amber. And then it gives a little like scent story and you can spray it on here and like leave your thoughts. So this is super nice because I don't know about you, but I've had times where like I try a sample and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one, or no, I didn't really like that one. And then I like pop it into my little scent collection and then I'm like, I barely remember which ones of these I liked. So I like that I could like keep these in this box, put the little like notes in there, and then like continue to use them for a while and know what the heck it is that I'm using. So I really love this idea. It's a really fun experience as I'm like struggling to get this back in the envelope. Well, I mean, I think it's going to be a fun experience. This is exactly how I like to like experience fragrance, is like have it be like a little mini event. It's just, this is why I'm having this right now. I like having these little like scent memory events, and I think this is a great way to build them and find some fun scent houses that I've never heard of before, and at a much lower cost than it would be to like blind buy any one of these bottles. So I'm really excited to try this out. I would love to know if you would like to know my thoughts. Do you just want it to be me now that I'm probably just gonna be getting the women's set? Or do you want Jeremy and I to sit down and we could do our January set together? That might be fun when we get back from vacation. We've just both been so busy and it's been hard to try to like combine our schedules to be able to find a time that we could do it together. But I did have to just come on here and be honest and say that I have not tried any of these out yet. So it's crazy. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little review. I don't know how quick this video went. I tried to get my thoughts in as concise and quickly as possible, but there's always a little ramble included here on my channel. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give this video a like. It really does help me out. I hope you're all doing super well. I am so grateful to have you here, spending some time out of your day, just getting to hang with me and see the crazy scent splurge that I went on. So this is probably gonna be it for a while, unless like one of these samples that I haven't tried yet just like totally trips my trigger. We'll have to see. I'm gonna say I'm gonna try really hard to not buy anything until summer, but we'll have to see here. All right, lovelies, that's gonna be it. I'll see you really soon.